Moving on to ethical sourcing and conservation of the species. You're probably now at the section of, okay, I think I can keep these, or no, it's not for me, but you need to know, how do you go about getting your Abronia? Now that you know, I'm ready, let's hop into this. I have everything set up. I want to build an enclosure. I want to do all that. Where do I get Abronia? And this is a very complicated topic due to the fact that Abronia are CITES 1 and CITES 2 species. Since they are CITES 1 and CITES 2 reptiles, their exportation is heavily regulated. If they're CITES 2, it means they can't be exported at all. An example of this is frost eye. Frost eye Abronia don't seem to be able to be exported right now. Now there does seem to be few out there, but they're being heavily regulated, so you probably won't see them. However, there is CITES 1, which means the regulation of them being exported does exist. It's just very limited, meaning very few will leave their origin countries. Meaning if you live somewhere in the US, Canada, Japan, or Europe, you might have a hard time finding them if they're not being imported to your country. There is a few breeders out there that I know of in the US who's working with them. There isn't very many that I would recommend due to the fact that I just don't know them well enough and personally to go ahead and give my stamp of approval on them to you. So you want to make sure you're asking the right questions and trying to avoid any wild caught individuals due to the fact that there's a wide range of issues with going with wild caught. For example, health issues. They're taking them out of their natural environment, which puts a ton of stress on them, and they may not live or not do well in captivity. Number 3, they're wild caught animals. They are being taken out of their environments, which plays an impact on their environment, which we want to avoid. Those animals being taken out of their environment is a huge concern to their population when many of these are CITES 1 and CITES 2, meaning they're on some sort of endangered list, either be, slightly endangered or critically endangered. So we want to avoid getting any sort of wild caught animals. I am currently working in my Discord to get a nice way of going about asking the right questions. I have a whole list in there of explaining, what are the right questions to ask somebody who's breeding them, what do I need to know? That way you can take that list and go with confidence and talk to anyone you want and figure out if they're legit or not. When it comes to getting captive bred ones, you want to make sure you're asking the right questions. You can always feel free to ask me or join the Discord or the Reddit and ask, hey, is this a legit seller? What questions should I be looking for? What do you guys think? I'm always willing to help anybody during their Abronia search, as it can be very difficult to get Abronia in general. You want to make sure that any breeder you're getting from is being transparent, isn't hiding any information from you, and has a good understanding of how to keep their Abronia. Another thing is you want to know how they're taking care of their Abronia before you get it, because that is a very quick and obvious red flag to whether or not it's a wild caught or captive bred Abronia.